AP News. I'm Ed Donahue. President Biden says it should have been done a long time ago.
Make a formal apology to the Indian nations for the way we treated their children for so many years.
The president will be in Oklahoma tomorrow to formally apologize for the country's role in forcing indigenous children into boarding schools, where many were physically, emotionally, and sexually abused. Nearly 1,000 died. Deb Haaland launched the investigation into the boarding school system shortly after she became the first Native American to lead the Interior Department. Donald Trump campaigns today in Arizona and Nevada. In Las Vegas, Adelina Perez says she's backing the former president because of his stand on immigration.
Our family's probably not the problem, but other people are coming through the borders, terrorists, traffickers, it's dangerous to have the borders open.
Kamala Harris campaigns in Georgia with former President Barack Obama and Bruce Springsteen. In North Carolina, running mate Tim Walz says he's heard enough of Donald Trump.
You tell me in your quiet moments that you're not going to find joy in this. After we win this thing, she becomes president, we can turn on our TV and not have to see that guy again.
McDonald's says a California grower was the source of fresh onions linked to a food poisoning outbreak involving quarter pounders. One person died. Prosecutors will recommend Eric and Lyle Menendez be resentenced for the 1989 killings of their parents in the family's Beverly Hills home, providing the brothers with a chance at freedom after 34 years behind bars. The WNBA champion New York Liberty were honored with a parade through Manhattan. One of the stars is Jonquel Jones.
Everybody has sacrificed. Everybody has really poured into the team to make sure that we would end up being successful, and now we have the ultimate prize. We have something that can never be taken away from us, and that's what it's all about.
It's the Liberty's first WNBA title. Stocks finished mixed. The Dow down 140 points. This is AP News. The AP's Margie Zaraletta has more on the death of former One Direction singer Liam Payne.
A government official speaking on condition of anonymity tells the Associated Press a police special investigations unit seized several items from the Casa Sur Hotel in Buenos Aires yesterday on orders from the public prosecutor's office. Among the items seized were computer hard drives and footage from hotel cameras. Payne died last Wednesday after he fell from a balcony on the hotel's third floor. Authorities are expected to release Payne's body to his father on Monday so it can be returned to England for a funeral. I'm Margie Zaraletta.
The case before the Colorado Supreme Court was about elephants, but the justices had a few questions about dogs. If 5 elderly elephants at a zoo in Colorado Springs win the right to challenge their captivity in court, what would happen to the pets kept by many people in the packed courtroom? A justice even wondered what would happen to her dog. I'm Ed Donahue, AP News.
Good morning, Marianas. So many things we gotta discuss. Happy day, Tirawami greetings to Rhoda, Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news from a beautiful place with Pacific views. It's always so much fun on Good Morning, Marianas.
It is Friday morning, October 25th, 7:26 a.m. in the morning, and you can see it's windy, it's rainy, just the way you like it. Hey, good news, though, today. We're going to hear a little bit more about what it's going to be like for us in the next couple of days because we're just about to call Landon. We got confirmation that we can get him on the phone this morning. I know he's a busy guy. He's got stuff going on right now. He's actually driving, so working on that. Oh, geez. Is he calling us? He's calling us. Here we go. Good morning, Landon. How are you this morning?
I am doing well, Brad. How are you doing this morning?
Great. I'll tell you what. So I was just telling everybody how we were about to call you, and you called us, so that's even better. That's like the best service that we can get. So thank you for that, by the way. It's a little windy and rainy out there. We knew it was going to be a little windy and rainy this weekend, but heard you this morning talking about it's going to get a little bit nastier than what we thought.
Yeah, that's correct. And things are holding steady for the course. We're still looking at that disturbance approaching our area. The good news is this is not yet a tropical depression. It's still a tropical disturbance. But I was highlighting in some discussions yesterday the possibility of some dynamics with this system, this overall structure. It's a very disorganized, very poorly formed disturbance. And there may be some room for some slight changes, little surprises. And when I looked at the radar this morning, I saw one of those surprises, and that was what is now Invest 99W. So this is a new circulation center or disturbance that's being focused on by the JTWC, and that's located very close to Rhoda this morning. So if you look at the earlier morning radar around 3 and 4 o'clock this morning, there's a very distinct circulation within the showers just offshore Rhoda. That's going to be pushing through the Rhoda Channel close to the Rhoda Island today, probably later this morning. This is not a tropical depression. This is not a tropical storm, but it's just a circulation center with that 98W still farther to the south near Chuk. Now, here's the dilemma. Is 99W going to be the primary circulation and form as it moves past the Mariana Islands to the west? Or is it going to split off and then allow 98W near Chuk to develop further and intensify as it approaches the islands? The latest forecast trends, looking at all the available model data, it looks like a lot of the models are favoring this 99W close to Rhoda to start developing in the next 24 to 36 hours once it pushes through the CNMI, with 98W near Chuk being essentially absorbed, all that energy being absorbed. And so that's kind of the good news is that we're looking at less likely for a tropical storm with 98W, possibly less likely of a tropical depression with 98W. But what it's going to look and feel like, that's the take home. Wet, windy, locally heavy rainfall. We saw that a lot this morning. We've had this persistent rain band training over Saipan much of the overnight hours, putting a lot of water on the ground and the roads. There's a lot of standing water in the backside of Crown Plaza Hotel, a lot of runoff. And so if you're driving this morning, we're going to have those bouts of light to moderate rainfall, but then some heavy showers pushing through over Saipan for the rush hour and then on into the morning hours. So plan accordingly, but those winds, they're also gusting up there. We had some wind gusts up into the 30-mile-per-hour range at the airport this morning. That's going to continue, especially with those heavier showers. So wet, windy weather, and that will continue, possibly increase a little bit as we go through the day. Again, we're not looking at tropical storm force conditions at this time. That is the good news is, but it's going to be wet, windy. It's going to be sloppy out there. So make sure your plans accommodate that for it. And it looks like it's going to linger well into Saturday. So again, we have a lot of plans, a lot of events planned for Saturday. Have that plan be in mind and be ready to execute that today. We're going to have a new model cycle come through around 10 o'clock this morning, and we'll be piecing together the latest information on how things have evolved overnight and how things are shaping up for the next 12 to 24 hours.
You know, it's funny. The flood watch ended yesterday morning in the morning, and on the way into the studio this morning, when all that rain started coming down, you could already see some of the roadside drainages being overwhelmed, and the puddles creeping on the side of the road, all over the place, all low-lying areas, even in the villages. There's a lot of water out there on the road, and you were saying that that's like one of the things that causes most of the problems in these big storms. Correct,
and I know a flood advisory is put out earlier this morning for Saipan and Tinian. I'm not sure what the expiration time is for that, but when it rains heavy with all the water we've had coming down the last several days, any heavy rainfall is going to go quickly to runoff. And so think of your drive, those low-lying areas, those flood-prone areas of the streets. Yeah, that's going to fill up with water quickly. And so keep that in mind, especially where all the road construction is. You'll probably get some scouring of the rocks and gravel and some erosion, especially on gravel roads. So plan accordingly, but hang tight. This is not going to be a typhoon. This is most likely not going to be a tropical storm, but it's going to be a dynamic situation, and the best you can do is stay up to date, buckle up, and hold on for the ride.
That's what it looks like. I mean, like you said, according to the forecast you guys put out, the official place, from weather.gov, says that we've got east-southeast winds 17 to 22 miles per hour, increasing to 24 to 29 this afternoon, and winds could gust as high as 37 miles per hour, with a 90% chance of rain. What's that other 10% chance we're holding out for?
That's going to be the break between one cloud and another cloud, and we could still see those breaks. And as I'm driving up the hill towards the Northern Marianas College, I see maybe a little glimmer of blue sky through some cracks in the clouds. And so it's not going to be a nonstop rainy deluge today, but it's going to be wetter than it's drier. And so we're going to see a lot of the rain, and it's going to be punctuated with the heavy showers from time to time. So that's what we're talking about. But at the ground level, I don't think 90% versus 100% makes much difference when you're dealing with a wet, windy day of weather.
Yep, and it looks like we're going to have that for the next couple of days too, and might be a good idea if people haven't done it already to pick up and some of that loose stuff around the house, tie some of that stuff down, because tomorrow it's going to be pretty windy as well.
That's exactly it. And as I'm driving, I'm seeing some campaign signs. I'm seeing a lot of tents and canopies and tarps. And this is going to be a tent canopy tarp system pushing through. And we had a 41 mile per hour wind gust at the airport yesterday. And I'm seeing the trees are whipping around a lot this morning. I was standing in one of the breezeways at the ground, and the wind was just funneling through that like a wind funnel. We're going to see those wind gusts creeping up. And so those 40 mile per hour wind gusts, we'll definitely see those, and I think we can see a little bit higher if possible tonight. So if you have those tents, canopies, and tarps, either make sure they're very heavily secured or just go ahead and take them down to be safe.
Yeah, that's probably the best way, taking those things down just to be safe for sure out here. Hey, I know you're on your way up to the college, and yesterday you gave a great briefing to all the folks from the different government agencies and media outlets to give them a heads up so that we understand a little bit more about the weather. I feel like we got at least that 10% chance that it didn't rain. It got me 10% smarter at least about the weather yesterday. So thanks so much for that. You're going up to the college, though. What are you going to be doing up there?
Well, we're doing ironically, a typhoon awareness and preparedness course. So this is a day-long workshop with the National Disaster Preparedness Training Center out of Hawaii, and so I'll be instructing that course, and we're just going to talk about all things mechanics of typhoons, tropical cyclones, how they form, the ingredients, and the communications and collaboration process for overall community preparedness.
That's outstanding. Well, good luck with that. I know that's pretty much an all-day thing for you, and I know you're going to be busy. And are you heading out tomorrow when this weather is getting nasty?
Yeah, as long as they keep the flights, and usually United Airlines will call me and ask about the weather and if they should cancel the flights. And I'm kind of turning the tables on them. I called the United manager on Guam, and I said, "Are y'all canceling my flight?" And so he said, "Let me call you back." A minute later, he calls me back. He said, "How's the weather on Saturday morning?"
That's great. Is that Dave?
But we're going to play it by ear. That is, Justin in Guam.
Awesome. Well, good luck with everything today. I know everyone who's going to be in that session is going to get better out of it. And wish you safe travels, whether it's tomorrow or if you're forced to stay an extra few days.
Yep, and we'll probably have to play it by ear this afternoon and evening. We may have a heavy weather brief at the Homeland Security Office around midday, so I'm waiting for them to finalize that if that's going to be the case. Mm-hmm. And if that is the case, I'll work with them to accommodate that, and we'll just have a very long lunch break in the training course today.
Awesome.
Always flexible.
Well, thanks so much. We're getting the news and the weather from the source. We're not going off on any, we're not getting it from any apps that nobody wants to mention their names, right? We follow all that stuff because it's interesting, but
it's a source.
It is,
and
but
you have to know how to use it.
But we want to make sure that we get it directly from you guys and make sure that we get it right from the experts themselves. So, hey, if United's calling you to find out if they're going to keep their flights or not, I think that's where we need to go to. We're just going to call you. So thanks so much, and good luck over there today.
Thank you so much, Brad.
All right, appreciate it, Landon. That's Landon Aylett from the U.S. National Weather Service on the phone with us today. He's in Saipan still, but now he's going to be he was here with us in studio yesterday. He was doing the roundabouts with all the media yesterday. He gave an instructional at the Emergency Operations Center yesterday as well. And today he's going to NMC to teach about typhoons and all kinds of stuff over there, and the possibility of a heavy weather brief around lunchtime at the EOC today too. So we'll keep you up to date with everything that's happening as it happens. And I'll tell you, I mean, you can look even behind me, you can see the trees. They are blowing around. They're moving around a little bit. And a little bit more than normal. Let's just put it that way. So it's got to be like that today. That's what we're expecting. And again, tomorrow it's going to be like this as well. It's still going to be windy on over the weekend on Sunday. So it's going to be something. I'll tell you what, we got a soccer game on Sunday. We'll see if we still get to play because it's going to be blowing around for sure. Again, gusts as high as 26. But the chance of rain goes down quite a bit on Saturday night and Sunday. 50% chance of showers on Sunday, mostly cloudy, high near 85. But again, gusts as high as 30 miles per hour. So it's still going to be blowing around pretty nasty on Sunday. So this is what we got, guys. This is our weather today, and it could be worse, but at least we got it directly from the source. You know, we got some great news from Landon. Thanks again for having the time to get on with us this morning as we get into it. We already brought you the headline news from the Associated Press, so you know what's happening nationally and around the world, and that gives us an opportunity to get back into our stuff. Hey, the phone lines are open. Number is 789-2323, 789-2323. You want to call and talk about what you think is important in the world, please do. Look at this. We got some calls that came in. How about this? What's this all going about? Pam. Hold on one second. Got a message coming in from someone. 1 second. You guys are sending me messages. Oh, that was a call. That was yesterday. That was another planting. All right. So I want to say thanks to you guys for dropping messages off and sending me info. That is great. If you guys want to call, again, the lines are open now. 789-2323. If you've got anything you want to talk about, what's going on in your world, what's going on, who do you want to vote for? Yeah, I know you're probably not going to talk about that, but you could if you want to. You want to talk about what your organization's doing, what they just did, what's going on. We talk about all kinds of stuff. Today we'll get to our headlines and tell you a little bit about what we ended up doing yesterday, including getting into the courthouse and getting to see who was meeting and what they were meeting about a little bit. Only had a couple of prepared statements. In fact, that part I can get to you guys. 1 second. Bump. And let's find that. So I'll at least play that for you about what happened when we were in the court yesterday at the district court. Dum. Okay, that's Landon stuff. And that's Landon stuff again. And it was pretty brief, really. Yeah, so, no, that's not the right one. Sorry, guys. Just hang out with me just for a minute. Oh. Okay. Oh, there we go. I was wondering what the heck happened there for a second. So somebody sent me a bunch of WhatsApp messages in the meantime. I'm like, are you telling me I did not get all that video and audio? I would have been a little bit crushed. All right, so we're going to send this over to the supercomputer here. It's going to take about 30 seconds or so for it to get over, and we'll play that for you. And what we're going to be doing, what are we playing? We're going to be playing these two messages that were from the Carmen Cantor and Governor Palacios from yesterday's meeting. 902 Talks. 1 second. Get all this stuff for you. You know, it was interesting too. I didn't actually, because right after we left, we hopped in the we hopped in the news van of Justice and went to the Emergency Operations Center up on Capitol Hill to go and check out the briefing that Landon was giving. And so we didn't get a chance to go and talk to the folks across the street, but there was like an impromptu protest, or at least a demonstration, I should say, yesterday with Raymond Ray Kitgwa. He was out there with the old NMI flag and then the U.S. flag that was upside down, signaling distress. And he had 3 signboards out front, but I didn't get to see what they said. But if we didn't have to head up to Capitol Hill, we would have at least head over there and chatted him up a little bit, just to hear what he had to say and see what the sign was all about. Anyway, it looks like that video should be ready for you. Okay, just popped over to the supercomputer of justice. Download it, and then I'm going to play it for you. So you'll hear, at the very least, you'll hear the 2 messages from the Gov and from Carmen Cantor. And it looks like it's just about there. Just 1 second. Oof. Yeah, so 902 Talks. And the room was full with folks. I mean, there were a lot of people in there from all over in the community. All kinds of folks that you would know for sure. All right, here we go. And this is, you're going to hear a little background noise. Oh, you know what? I could share the screen for you if you want to. The video's not going to look all that great because I just set it up on the tripod and I went around taking a bunch of photos and stuff. So don't expect the video to be so great.
Consultation team, thank you for allowing members of the media to come in for a couple minutes to be in the room where important conversations are being held.
That's the voice of Frankie Elliptico. Yeah, don't worry about the, as I'm sitting there setting up the tripod. That's Frankie Elliptico. And then this is our opportunity for all the press to introduce themselves to all the folks.
Buenas tardes, Antiro. My name is Brad Rosal. I'm with the NMI News Service.
And my name is Brian Manada. I'm from Marianas.
I'm Dan Shore from KSPN2 News.
Television. And as we discussed, the Gov will be providing brief.
Again, there's just going to be 2 statements, one from the Gov and one from Ms. Cantor. And we do have a higher res version of this. This is just the compressed version straight off of WhatsApp from the phone. Yep. I get over there and put my microphone there so the audio will get better.
I want to first thank the members of the media. Thank you for being here today. Certainly we appreciate your patience and understanding as the consultation pursuant to Section 902 of the Covenant continues. Yesterday, the first day of the consultation meeting, we've had very open and very productive discussions, and those conversations will continue today. I want to emphasize that I'm grateful to Assistant Secretary Cantor for her openness and willingness to focus our dialogues on the urgent items that are directly aligned with the provisions of the Covenant, aimed at achieving a progressively higher standard of living for the people of the Commonwealth. We're also thankful that the first consultation meeting is being held in the CNMI so that the first federal team members are able to see firsthand some of the challenges and opportunities that exist in the Commonwealth. The team did a brief visit to various locations on Saipan early this morning, and we must emphasize that these discussions will not end today, and that we will continue meeting and working with our federal partners. After today, we'll pick up the dialogue where we leave off today and work towards an agreement that will be mutually acceptable or mutually beneficial to both the CNMI and the federal government. Thank you.
half a day, Governor Palacios, members of the CNMI 902 consultation team, and also members of the media. It is a great pleasure and honor to join you here in the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands as the United States Special Representative to engage in the important work of the 902 consultations as provided in Article 7 of the Covenant. We received the CNMI's position paper regarding economic development assistance, and I commend your team for its clarity in discussing CNMI's fiscal and economic challenges and its thoughtful treatment of the opportunities to structure a more sustainable future. We are very, very grateful for the very productive discussions that we had yesterday, and we look forward to more discussions this afternoon. Thank you so much.
Yeah, then you're going to hear Frankie just say, now we'll let us take some photos, and then everyone's going to take off.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
That's what ended up happening. It was just that quick. That's the amount of access that we had. Not a bad thing. They specifically asked us not to, as one of the conditions of being able to get in there and get this, is that we don't shout out questions and all that stuff. So, so we're thankful for the opportunity, for sure, to get some kind of access to that, so we could just get everybody who is in the room. And, you can see from the team that we have there is Mike Sablon from Triple J. He's leading the talks for the NMI. You've got Senate President Edith De Leon Guerrero. You've got House Speaker Edmund Villagomez, former judge and former legal counsel for the governor's office, Wes Bogdan, representing Tinian's economic group, who is Philip Mendiola Long. Representing Rhoda, you've got Donald Manglonia, the senator. You've also got Layla Staffler, Department of Labor Secretary, who was there. You've got Special Assistant Tina Sablon, who was there. Matt De Leon Guerrero was there. One of the things I liked the most about it is that when you hear those names and you see all those folks who are there, you know for sure that this was not based on just on people being in a certain party or affiliation group, right? Wes Bogdan was Governor Torres's legal counsel, and he had a lot to do with all the stuff that was happening with Poggin and Tinian and all those talks with the divert and everything before he ended up leaving and then becoming a judge. Also, Matt De Leon Guerrero, who's as close as you can be with the previous administration. In fact, I remember telling him back when they were talking about forming this team, I'm like, you guys need a Matt Guerrero. Everyone needs a Matt Guerrero if you're going to try to lead the CNMI. One, because he's just a handsome guy, right? But really, he's sharp and he's got great acumen for numbers. And when it comes to the economy, he can accurately, weed through everything and just give you some data that makes sense. Make it really comprehensive. And it doesn't matter what party you're on, what group you're on. It's about the CNMI, and having the best people in that room for those kind of things is what's important. So hats off to Gov for recognizing that and getting past all that stuff. Also, and Matt wasn't in the camera. He shies away from the spotlight. He really does. And, it's too bad because the guy's a superstar. He absolutely is. But when we walked in, he was over there in the far corner of the room, right when you walk in, like, I'm not a big fan of getting all the camera stuff. That's all right. You're great. There were other folks notable from Tinian and Saipan in the room who were assisting with the whole process, but they were, I would say, more as observers and support for the rest of the team, and they didn't want the spotlight necessarily either. So it's just fair. Now we're gonna get a list from the governor's office through Frankie Liptko of all the folks on the federal side. We took photos and videos of all the names. Actually, I've got them on the camera, the other camera that we shot with, so I can get you all that stuff too. But getting the full list of everybody who's on there with all their titles, the folks who weren't sitting behind a name tape and all that stuff would really be helpful as well. So we're looking forward to getting that. Let's see. Let me just see if it did come out this morning, because they did. I know they're busy. I'll tell you what, Frankie Liptko, again, he's not someone who's looking for the spotlight all the time either. But he's wearing more than a few hats, working at the college as the marketing guy for the college, running communications for NMC, but then also helping out over there at that. That's another person who was there. Marie Coleman was there yesterday. And again, she's wearing multiple hats too. She's here at CETA, and then she's helping out at the governor's office. So there's so many people who are wearing multiple hats. I know a lot of it, they say, is because of funding. So the governor's office is leaning on a lot of folks from outside to help out. And not just for these talks. I mean, this has been since the election and then the inauguration and moving forward. So they are moving in their direction and, and getting stuff done. And it's supposed to wrap up, I guess, yesterday. And they said that the talks will continue, but they're supposed to provide us with a prepared press release today as well. And, we'll let you know how that goes. And while we're going to end up taking a commercial break, and then we'll get you the 8 o'clock update from the Associated Press. And in the meantime, while we'll do that, we'll get you some of those other photos of all those other name tapes in there so you can see all the names of all the folks who were there as well. So again, so Vincent Raymond says, hey, is this 902 a yearly deal? No. So it's a really good thing. In fact, I'll pull this up for you just so you guys can see it. This is part of the covenant between the CNMI, between the Northern Marianas and the United States. So CNMI covenant, and it's available online. I love that I've got one of the copies of it. They're available where you can get the copies of it. I have an actual hard copy. Not hard to get. But I believe they might even have them at Khalili's office. Dun, dun, dun. So it's available online, right here. Is this it? Yeah, so I'm going to put this in the comments first. So if you want to go scroll through it on your own, you can. But it's on cnmilaw.org, which, by the way, is a great resource for all the laws here in the CNMI. But this regard is in regards to our ability to have good conversation with the United States. So let me transition to the other screen. So this is where we're at. Here, I'll scroll up a little bit. So this is just the CNMI law revision page, and it's section 902. So you go under Article 9. It might actually be under, did they say 7? No. So 902 right here. And let's see, can I blow up the screen? Well, it doesn't matter. It says the government of the United States and the government of the Northern Mariana Islands will consult regularly on all matters affecting the relationship between them. At the request of either government, and not less frequently than every 10 years, the President of the United States and the Governor of the Northern Mariana Islands will designate special representatives to meet and to consider in good faith such issues affecting the relationship between the Northern Mariana Islands and the United States as may be designated by either government, and to make a report and recommendation with respect thereto. Special representatives will be appointed in any event to consider and to make recommendations regarding future multi-year financial assistance to the Northern Mariana Islands pursuant to Section 701, to meet at least 1 year prior to the expiration of every period of such financial assistance. So there you go. That's when they talk about 902 talks, that's what they're talking about. They're referencing specifically this section of the covenant, the partnership between the Northern Marianas and the United States government that says when people are having problems and we need to discuss our relationship and how we're going to be doing it and how we can work on some of the financial things that we have, the governor or the president can initiate these talks, designate folks to meet, then they meet, come up with a report, and come up with a plan. And then if they end up coming out with a plan, then for financial assistance for sure, then at least 1 year before that plan would wrap up, they meet again to discuss what the next step or steps are going to be. So it's pretty good. It does give the CNMI a say or voice. Yeah, it does. It's one of the best. I'll tell you, the covenant agreement is outstanding. Excuse me. it's really great. It outlines this relationship between the CNMI and the federal government. Hold on, I got a whole bunch of messages that came in. I just want to see if it was any of you guys sending us messages before I jump into something else. Ooh, I'm going to talk about this in a little bit. Thank you, Derek Cutting. We'll talk about that in a sec. But also, the Land Alienation Act is a real big part of this. You know what that is? Article 12. It's one of the things that gives us, our NMDs here, the ability to own land, and only the NMDs. And I'll tell you what, that's what's keeping us from being like another Hawaii, where there's like only 18% Native Hawaiians living in Hawaii. And I know, I'll tell you what, it's funny. I could talk about that big time all day from both perspectives on that, from the people who want to get rid of Article 12 and the people who think that it's great that we have it. I'll tell you what, it was one of the best things that we got. We also have our exemption from the Jones Act. Oh, sorry, one more other thing. Sorry. I'll share that with you in a minute. But our exemption from the Jones Act, which means that we have to have U.S. flagged and U.S. staffed shipping vessels doing business. That's how it is for everywhere else except for here. So the covenant really afforded us a lot of advantages that other territories and states don't have, and I think we're extremely lucky to have it. Let's see. Question just came in. Are there islands that have similar standing, like they have 902 agreement with the feds? That's a great question. That is. Oh, and it says maybe Guam. Guam's got a different relationship under their Organic Act that I need to look into. To be fair, I'm not an expert on that one. I know a ton more about here than anywhere else. I know a lot more about the CNMI than I know even about where I grew up, because this is just such an interesting place. And, this is where I ended up calling home. But I could tell you a lot about Buffalo Bills football. But I could tell you a lot more about our government here and all that. So don't have that answer for you. But thank you for that question. But I guess I'll have to look it up. If we had a great Guam correspondent that we could call to ask about something like that. In fact, while we're here, I'll transition back over here so I could pop open my other screens. I'll send a message that asks about this. Hold on one second. I do know somebody. Dun, dun, dun. I'm going to send this message. Good morning. All right, just sent that to someone from Guam asking that exact question. Okay, one other thing. Oh, man, and that's a good one, Luisa, too. All right, hey, but we can't put this out anyway. Man. All right, so we put that out to see if we'll get some questions, get some answers on that. And we'll come back. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to set you up with some commercials. But then we're also going to have some other announcements and all that other stuff. And thanks, Jim Kingman, weighing in saying, "Hey, no one else has the CNMI deal." So and I'll tell you what. So the CNMI's got a different relationship than everybody else, right? So, excuse me. The Guam fell into the CNMI fold, Guam fell into the U.S. fold. Same with Cuba and Puerto Rico, and by virtue of the Spanish-American War, right, 1898. So that became a possession instantly. The CNMI wasn't a spoil of war. The CNMI became a part of the United States sphere after World War II, after the invasion of Saipan by the United States and Tinian, and the defeat of the Japanese, then it became a protectorate for a brief time while they would figure out what the heck was going to happen, and then it was put to a vote, a plebiscite here, and that's how we became covenant. Okay, I got an answer. It says from Guam, do they have something like that? They said, no, we don't. In fact, Ginger Cruz has talked about that great provision that we have in one of the debates. All right, so there you go. Thank you. Another question that came in. I know we're about to go to the break. It says, how long do you think these talks would run before they come up with a resolution? How sincere is the CNMI in making this happen? Well, I'll tell you what, it's already happened. So they've already had the talks for the last 2 days, and we don't know. We weren't given any of the information about those topics, but they're pretty. You would think that the current state of the economy is a big deal. Our current state of tourism, who can fly in, who can't, how many can fly in, who can't, economic assistance, and what's currently going on, how we're probably making a very good faith effort to be pro-U.S. With that pivot and saying, hey, we could use some love over here. What do you got for us? Right? And giving outlooks about where we are and where we are not and where we're falling short and the suffering of the community, all that kind of stuff. I'm sure all those things are on the table. We're going to receive an official press release from the governor's office that's going to talk about that stuff. And I'll tell you what, wherever we end up seeing the governor next for a press conference or for a ribbon cutting or a whatever, guaranteed that's going to be one of the questions that he's going to get. So, and we'll see what he lets slip on that stuff. But it's not like it's a big top secret thing or whatever. I mean, some of the things I imagine, they're not going to share with everybody. But, I think a lot of the things are going to have to be. And it was funny to us that they didn't even tell us that it was happening. Now they're saying it was because of a secure issue, about security and all that stuff. But I don't know that that's really an issue out here. I don't think it's an issue for folks out here. But who am I, right? I'm just some guy. But it doesn't seem like it's a real deal security issue when somebody's coming out here. It's just to say it after it happens. No, it takes away some of the luster. They should celebrate when somebody's coming in, not keep it under wraps and secret. Not at all. In fact, that's another one of those things. Like, they didn't want to do that yesterday as a live stream. Again, not a problem. We were still able to deliver what it was. I just like giving you guys the stuff as it happens. But they, under the guise of saying something about security, but there's nothing that would be less secure by having that as a live stream. I think that that's when the bad guys are going to come in with that big truck full of fertilizer or something, Tim McVeigh the place. No, it's not that kind of a deal. We're not that kind of a place, and that's it. So what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you what, I have, we're going to move on. We're going to take a real quick break so we can transition nicely to the other stuff. And I want to say thanks to some of these other folks. Hey, good news, by the way. And because one of our sponsors is dedicated to improving the CNMI too, one rep at a time. The good folks over at Laddie Built 24-Hour Fitness, they do a great job of getting people feeling better. And they can't do it unless you go in there. Well, anyway, they just ended up getting a new partnership, which is outstanding. And because they've been working on this kind of stuff for a long time, trying to get things going. They are now partners with Calvo Select Care, and federal employees can take advantage of the benefits of that partnership too. It is really great news. We'll tell you more about that when we come back. But I'll tell you what, on a rainy day like today, you can go in and get a good pump over at the gym. They've got great free weights. They've got great machines. They've got the racks. They've got the spin bikes. They've got the hot sauna. They've got the cold plunge. They've got an octagon. They've got the heavy bags if you want to go give those a little beating too. You name it, they got it. They've got gear. They got supplements. They've got a great partnership with PHI Pharmacy as well, where you get a great discount on all their products. Man, I'll tell you what, if you haven't gone to Laddie Built and seen what the newest facility in the CNMI looks like, you are missing out. It's in Chalkanoa, right on Beach Road. great parking, and just look for the tallest building over there. It's the Aquarius Beach Tower. Right at the base of it, the gray building, green highlights, the gray gym, the smiling faces. The only thing they need is you. Go check them out.
Persistence of build, be the inspiration, they witness approve. We do what we do by the rules in the book. Be a lottie where discipline and vision is built. We lead by example, persistence of build. Be the inspiration, they witness approve. We do what we do by the rules in the book.
Got Medicaid? Paradise Dental's got you covered. We've got you covered from the moment you walk in the door with some of Saipan's best smiles. Medicaid covers your fillings, your extractions, and your checkups with no out-of-pocket expense. And Medicaid covers all of your x-rays without any additional cost to you. So remember, if you've got Medicaid, you're covered. Don't wait for a toothache. Call Paradise Dental today. Come here often.
If you're a person with a disability in the CNMI, you have certain rights that protect your ability to vote. This video contains some information about your rights and some resources available to you in protecting those rights.
What are some of your voting rights as a person with a disability? You have the right to vote regardless of your disability. You have the right to cast your vote privately without disclosing your vote to anyone. But you also have the right to ask for assistance as needed. Polling place workers should be ready and available to assist and accommodate your needs. CNMI law requires that you must be registered to vote in the CNMI. You can vote if you are a citizen or national of the United States, at least 18 years of age on the date of the election, domiciled in the CNMI, a resident of the CNMI, and have resided in the Commonwealth for 120 days, are not serving a sentence for a felony, have not been declared by the court of unsound mind, and have registered to vote at least 60 days before the election.
As a voter with a disability, you have the right to vote in an accessible voting place. That means you can get from your car through the door to cast your ballot without physical barriers or impediments.
Under the CNMI law, any voter who needs help in casting a ballot is entitled to request for assistance. A poll supervisor or the executive director of the Commonwealth Election Commission can provide assistance at the polling place, or you can exercise your right to curbside vote. However, whether you vote at curbside or not is your choice. No poll worker can force you to vote curbside. If you are unable to mark your ballot, you may select up to 2 people to help you cast your vote, except that they cannot be your employer or your employer's agent.
The Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990 requires public entities to provide progress access, reasonable modification of policy, auxiliary aids and service where necessary to afford an individual with a disability an equal opportunity to participate in and enjoy the benefits of the services, program, or activity being conducted by the public entity.
Our primary goal is to have 100% participation of eligible voters in all elections, 100% polling place accessibility, and options for all voters who seek independent and private voting. If you want to know more about your voting rights, please contact the Northern Marianas Protection and Advocacy Systems Incorporated at 670-235-7273 or 74, or you can simply visit our website at www.nmposse.org.
This video was brought to you by the Administration for Community Living and does not necessarily reflect their official views.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. President Biden making his first trip to a tribal nation tomorrow to issue a formal apology. Interior Secretary Deb Haaland.
For more than a century, tens of thousands of Indigenous children, as young as 4 years old, were taken from their families and communities and forced into boarding schools.
An Interior Department investigation found many children were physically, emotionally, and sexually abused, and nearly 1,000 died. An Israeli airstrike today hit a school in central Gaza, sheltering displaced people. Palestinian officials say at least 17 killed. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says Israel's now accomplished its objective of effectively dismantling Hamas, and ceasefire negotiations will resume in coming days. In the presidential campaign, Vice President Kamala Harris holding a Georgia rally tonight that will include a performance from Bruce Springsteen and an appearance by former President Barack Obama. Donald Trump says if he wins the White House, he'll fire special counsel Jack Smith within 2 seconds of taking office, Smith leading the prosecution over Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election. In Georgia, 3 white men serving life in prison for murder after chasing and killing Ahmaud Arbery in 2020 are asking for a new trial. Norman Hall has details.
Attorneys for Greg McMichael, his son Travis McMichael, and their former neighbor William Bryan made a range of arguments, including a tainted jury and ineffective counsel for one of the men. The same judge who handled their 2021 murder trial and handed down their sentences set aside up to 2 days to hear their legal motions. The men were also convicted of federal hate crimes. The jury concluded the trio targeted Arbery because he was black. I'm Norman Hall.
L.A. prosecutors will ask a court tomorrow to resentence Lyle and Eric Menendez for the 1989 killings of their parents, setting the stage for possible parole. And the owner and operator of the cargo ship that caused the Baltimore bridge collapse will pay more than $100 million to settle a lawsuit brought by the Justice Department. This is AP News. The strike goes on at Boeing after factory workers rejected a contract offer that included 35% pay raises. They say they want a traditional pension plan restored. Jobless claims fell last week, and mortgage rates up again, the average 30-year 6.54%. And Seth Sutel has the AP Markets Report.
Wall Street drifted to a mixed finish after Tesla surged and IBM slumped following their latest profit reports. The S&P 500 rose 0.2%, breaking its first 3-day losing streak since early September. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 140 points. That's about 0.3%. The Dow was weighed down by a big drop in IBM. The Nasdaq Composite rose 0.8%. Tesla soared almost 22%. Elon Musk's electric vehicle company had its second biggest gain on record after turning in much better than expected results. Treasury yields eased in the bond market. The yield on the 10-year Treasury note fell to 4.21%. Seth Sutel, New York.
And I'm Ben Thomas, AP News. Thanks for listening.
All right, welcome back, Marianas. We are here looking at the wind and the rain on this blustery Friday. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it is going to get a little bit worse in the next couple of days. Make sure if you're out there, you got your headlights on. Oh my gosh, I hope I didn't leave my headlights on. That would definitely be a bummer to come down to some dead batteries. Now I'm thinking about it. Were it not for the kindness of folks to say, hey, Brad, you left your lights on. I have done that more than a few times already, and it is not good. Yes, I've had the need to have my battery jumped a few times. I've already replaced the alternator and the battery just in case. So, it's that annoying thing, that ding, ding, ding. It's not annoying anymore. Now I appreciate it. I need that ding, ding, ding in my life right now to let me know if I left the headlights on. Oh my gosh, I hope I didn't. We're going to find out, though. We're going to find out. Tell you what, while we were taking a break, I was looking at the old photos, and I brought the screen over so I could show you guys what some of those images looked like from yesterday. So you could see some of the other things. Now, they're not perfect, so don't expect perfection. I haven't even really gone through them. Just putting them out there so you could see a little bit of what the inside of that room looked like yesterday. And you see they're even auto-adjusting as I click in there. So there's Vicky, there's Marie, and I can't see who that is to their side. There's the governor and Carmen Cantor, again, the Assistant Secretary for the Insular and International Affairs. As we keep scrolling through, even if I got some bad ones in there, they're there. And some of these were just to get the people with their name tags on there. So Abdiel Razo, the Special Assistant to the Assistant Secretary. Is that like the assistant to the manager instead of the assistant manager? I'm not sure. All right, let's keep going and see who else we got here. Okay, Jonathan Dunn, the Associate Director of Budget. Timothy Murphy, Assistant Solicitor, U.S. Department of the Interior. Basil Otley, Assistant Director of something. We'll see if that comes out a little bit better in one of the next photos. And it's possible that it does not. Am I going the right way? Oh, maybe that's the... there we go. Maybe I was going the wrong way. Because after that, I think that's when we get into the stuff at the EOC. Oh, yeah, there's Matt, the economist for Northern Marianas. Oh, and that's part of what we did over at the EOC yesterday, which was pretty interesting. That's enough stuff right there. But anyway, so at least that's who we got from the photos of just trying to snag those name tags. Again, you saw how much time that we had inside that room. It was pretty quick, right? So just want to try to get the name tags of those guys. I know they were not the main players. Oh, Secretary of Finance was there also. I could see it in the back there. Tracy Narita was there in the room as well. So let's see. Is there anyone else who I missed out? Well, I think that's it. Sorry, I'm looking through the photos on the other screen. But at least you got a better idea now of who was there and what they did and what their roles were. And we'll hear more about that. Yeah, Jerry, ding, ding is right. That is absolutely right. Hey, I mentioned that we were going to talk about a couple of things that you guys have sent me. And is that today? It's tomorrow. Saipan Little League Baseball is going to hold its general membership meeting to elect officers for the board of directors for the upcoming season. It's going to be at Menachem Atau tomorrow. I don't know what time it is. It doesn't have it on there. Luisa, what time is it tomorrow? But it is tomorrow. Hold on. She probably just sent me a message telling me what time it is. Yeah, and so one of the things, by the way, speaking of that, the Saipan Little League Baseball is a term you don't hear a whole lot of, Saipan Little League Baseball, because Saipan Little League no longer has a charter with the overall United States and worldwide Little League Baseball. Now, why is that? I'm not sure. Somehow we fell out of favor with them. We didn't send in dues. I don't know. I don't know what that answer is, but I know that that's why we're not officially part of the Little League program. Even though we have kids baseball happening, it's not official Little League stuff. So what they're trying to do now, there's a lot of people who were part of that board for the Little League, and what they're trying to do, instead of starting up a new charter and all that, they just want to have all those folks who were part of that board that hasn't been doing anything for about 6 years, just vote in new people, people who care about baseball here, people who care about youth baseball here, and the proliferation and expansion of baseball in the Marianas. So they need people who want to be an active part of that. And it's going to be tomorrow. So Luisa, I need to know what time. It doesn't tell me what time the meeting is, but I just know it's tomorrow at Menachem Atau. And is it still going to be there if it's raining and windy like today? That part is that part we need to know about. But thanks for that. This part that I was laughing about, remember I was laughing about earlier? It was the message my wife sent me, the email my son sent to his teachers. Now, he's been sick. You think I've been sick? He got sick from me. Oh, Luisa says the meeting is tomorrow for Little League Baseball, 9 o'clock at Minachamato, 9 a.m. I'm guessing rain or shine. And the weather is supposed to be better in the morning than it is in the afternoon, so be good to get that done. So if you're interested in supporting Little League Baseball, becoming a board member and having a big difference, there you go. Tomorrow, Saipan Little League Baseball meeting, general membership meeting. They're going to vote in new members of the board, and if you're interested in that, they're interested in you. All right, so getting back to this. This is something my wife sent me. I've been sick, but my son's been sick. He's been out of school for about a week now. I think he's on the mend. I think he's getting there. He went to school one day, and they sent him home. He was homesick, went in the next day, was still coughing. They're like, the kid sounds terrible. Take him home. So we did. And he's been home since. But, even though he's missing the lesson plans, he's still able to do all the work. I got a great kid. Let's put it that way. So he messaged his teachers again today that he was sick. Now, how did they do that? When I was a kid in school, that would be calling the principal's office. That's the end of it, right? There's no anything. You can ask somebody to send stuff home for you, but there was no email back when I was there. Here's the message my son sent to his teachers. Subject, I'm still sick. Dear all teachers that I am addressing, I am still sick and therefore I am still at my house. And that means I'm unfortunately missing school today. And that means I am missing all classwork and homework. It would be very much appreciated that you have taken this into consideration. Sincerely and with great grief, Keone. P.S. Mr. Gintu, that's his math teacher. It would be much appreciated that you explain the math. Thank you. Once again, and with great grief, Keone. That is my son. With great grief. Where do you get that? That can't be AI. That's my boy. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. I remember being in school, and when I was sick, I didn't want anyone to bring me homework while I was sick. I wanted to just be sick at home, in bed, maybe playing some Nintendo, the original, and sick. Now, this kid, he wants all the schoolwork, and he does all the work, even when he's sick and in bed. Kid's got great grades and everything. Oh, excuse me. And with great grief. I just can't get over it. That's too funny. And we got all the soccer stuff this weekend, too. Soccer continues. I know we're talking about baseball tomorrow morning, but we've got soccer for the kids tomorrow. VFW's got a district meeting tomorrow also. Oh, this is a good one. Let me pull this one up for you guys, because this is something for all veterans. There's a group going around, and they are not the VFW, although I am. Hold on, let me bring up this message specifically that we got. Where's my message from Kat Tobez? And we could just open it up here and show this to you guys. A new group called Project Buddy Check 670. And their contact info is all there as well. 285-0701, Project Buddy Check 670.nmi@gmail.com. So here's the letter they're putting out, and this is good stuff because we had VAO, Veterans Affairs Office here this week talking to us about it. And they were telling us a little bit about this. So this is a letter that they're sending out to vets. It says, Dear Veteran, purpose of this letter is to introduce you to Project Buddy Check 670 Incorporated and provide information into our mission and goals that we hope to achieve throughout the organization's existence. In the end, we hope to have you become a member and be a voice towards better services for CNMI veterans. Their mission statement is this: Project Buddy Check 670 Incorporated intends to support veterans of the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands by being a voice and advocate on their behalf. and will work the best way we can to bridge the service gap utilizing supplemental activities and programs. Founding members of the organization are composed of veterans, and we have an immense understanding of the shortcomings of the services needed to support veterans. We have set out goals to try and fill those gaps. Several of those goals include A, coordinate and hold recreational activities for veterans. B, advocate for benefits. C, assist veterans file for their disability compensation. D, host a yearly Memorial Day golf tournament to honor veterans who have passed. E, host a Veterans Day family picnic event to honor veterans and their families. F, have the association become a lead entity in veteran support. And G, support other veteran-friendly organizations. In order to achieve these goals, they'll collaborate with local federal and government agencies to include CNMI legislature to find ways to work together to pass legislation creating benefits that will help veterans cope with the issues we struggle with. We will also collaborate with private organizations to help make our proposed activities and programs a reality. Here, I'll blow this up a little bit. It said it's not their intent to coerce or force veterans and family members into joining organizations. However, we welcome participation as it can help CNMI veterans get the assistance we need. There's no cost to participating or becoming a member. If you're interested in participating, email your contact info to projectbuddycheck670.nmi@gmail. Here, we can copy that and put that in the comments for you. And we'll also put the phone number in there too. That's their email address. And let's get that on. And that's from their president, John J. Uggan, president, Project Buddy Check 670. 285, huh? Copy. There you go. Oh, I did see that. Donna Crum, thanks for putting that in there. I did see that stuff about the Menendez case. I didn't think people were really following that. I'll open it up over here. Let's see what we got. That they were going to be resentenced. I think what they were going for did not work the way that they were hoping for. These are the two kids who murdered their parents with a shotgun, like in the 80s. That became a big Netflix special, right? So these guys are in their mid-50s now. They've been in jail for, decades. And after they killed their parents, they went on some kind of a spending spree. Hold on, my phone is blowing up right now. What's going on? Hold on. Yeah, I'll tell you what. So, I gotta look up the latest thing here. Hold on, come on. Where you got? I'm looking for the best source of the news here. Here we go. AP. This is from the Associated Press. Here, I'll even show you. This is where I'm getting it from, the AP. Out of Los Angeles, prosecutors will recommend Eric and Lyle Menendez be resentenced for the 1989 killing of their parents in the family's Beverly Hills home, providing the brothers with a chance at freedom after 34 years behind bars. Well, how about that? They announced during a Thursday news conference that the office would recommend that the brothers be sentenced to 50 years to life because they were under 26 years old at the time of their crimes. They'll be eligible for parole immediately. How about that? They were 21 and 18 when they shotgunned their parents. It says they feared that their parents were about to kill them to stop people from finding out that the dad had sexually abused the younger brother for years. Ugh. I hate even saying that sentence. And the families, it says families largely united in asking for their freedom. I guess that means not everybody. Wow. It said that they were tried twice for their parents' murders. First one ended in a hung jury. Yeah, I remember it, but I wasn't really paying massive attention to it because I was in high school and not really totally into it. Here's what we were talking about. Not all Mendez family members support the resentencing. Attorneys for Milton Anderson, the 90-year-old brother of Kitty Menendez, filed a legal brief asking the court to keep the brothers' original punishment. They shot their mother, reloading to ensure her death. Whew. The evidence remains overwhelmingly clear. The jury verdict was just, and the punishment fits the heinous crime. Yeah, if you're reloading the shotgun, it's not like it was temporary insanity or something. It says, though Kitty Menendez was not accused of abusing her son, she appears to have facilitated the abuse. One cousin testified during the brothers' first trial that Lyle told her he was too scared to sleep in his room because his father would commit. Oh, God, I don't want to talk about that. And that when his cousin told Kitty about it, she was angrily dragged him upstairs by his arm. Another family member testified that when Jose Menendez was in the bedroom with one of the boys, no one was allowed to walk down the hallway outside. I would say that's shotgunnable. But that's not how the people talked about it back then. People did not refer to those kids as good guys. They referred to those guys as awful kids who murdered their parents for their inheritance. That much I remember. Right? That much I remember from when it happened. Wow. Yeah, look, there's Louisa. They were spoiled brats who got greedy and wanted more. Michael says both are married in prison. They will go home to the wives they met and married while in prison. Wow. How about that? Yeah, no kidding. Says parole's being recommended to the court. If granted, they'll be out ASAP. I mean, 34 years is a lot of time to be in jail. When you go to jail at 18 and 21 years old, and you get out of jail when you're 54, just imagine how much has happened since 1989. Freestyle music was king in 1989. People had pagers in 1989. Well, I mean, I guess they still did in the Middle East. But like outside of the Middle East, nobody was using pagers. Let me see if I can find like a real quick freestyle mix. Yeah, this is the music that was popular back when the Menendez brothers went into jail. How about, let's talk about the movies. 1989 movies. By the way, this is some good music. Dead Poet Society, Batman with Michael Keaton, The Burbs, a great one, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Pet Sematary, When Harry Met Sally, The Abyss, oh, what a great movie. Major League. These are all movies that were released the same year the Menendez brothers killed their parents. Oh, gosh. This is how long they've been in jail. And now they're looking at getting out. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Back to the Future Part 2, Roadhouse, Halloween 5. They were already on movie 5. Ghostbusters 2. Steel Magnolias. All Dogs Go to Heaven. The Little Mermaid. Wow, that's that old. License to Kill. James Bond. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Okay, what else? Was that the Kirk Gibson year? Was that 89 or 91? 1989 World Series. I want to say the A's were in it. The A's were in it. Okay. That was the A's and the Giants. 91, I think, was Kirk Gibson. Yeah, so A's and Giants, that's where the Oakland A's, who had such an awesome team. I think they only ended up winning like one World Series. But they were just amazing. Kind of like the Braves. How about 89 Super Bowl? I want to see, 87 was Giants, Broncos. 88 was Giants, or Broncos and Redskins. After that, was it San Francisco? 1989 Super Bowl. It would help if I type that in right. Uh, 49ers, Bengals. Yep. There you go. So, and you guys probably aren't interested in who won the cup in 89. I know it wasn't the Oilers. The Laddie Cup. Oh, it was the Calgary Flames. That was great playoffs. They ended up beating the Montreal Canadiens in 6 games. How about that? Doug Gilmour. Oh, my gosh. He scored the game-winning goal. How about that? That was a long time ago. Anyway, so that's how long these guys have been in jail. And it looks like they may be coming out now. And I'm sure they've already experienced the internet. I'm sure in jail they've got all that stuff. They've got computers. But, I mean, imagine what the computers were like in 1989. Like the Apple IIe, right? There were no laptops to speak of, I don't think. Oh, sorry. I think I missed some of your comments. A district attorney speech on YouTube. 1 second. Explains why this is happening now. Okay, we'll get that. That's great. 35 to life, and they've done 35 years. One of those boys bought a Rolex after killing the parents. I wonder if it's still in his booking property. I wonder if it's still ticking. Probably not. I mean, it's that motion thing, right? Let's go to YouTube. See if we can't find that district attorney. See if that pops up. Mendez. That's ABC News. Live press conference. This was an hour ago. Oh, it's only an hour and a half long. Let's see. Here, let's, it won't be a smooth transition. I'm just going to cut off the music. All right. So let's see if I can't fast forward to the part where they're really talking. That's why it's an hour and a half long, because they were just setting up, waiting for people to walk in. So I'm scrolling. There we go. Okay, so here comes.
Good afternoon, everyone. And before I begin speaking, I want to also introduce some other people that are here with me, and I hope I'm pronouncing the names right because I've seen handwritten part of it. But I have Ana Maria Barat, Jose Menendez, who's a niece.
That is Stevie B, by the way.
And niece Karen Vandermolen, and Katie's niece. They're all here with us. Also with us here is Brock Lunsford. He's the assistant head deputy for the post-litigation conviction unit. And Nancy Cervier, who is the deputy district attorney in charge of the resentencing unit. Let me begin by telling you that this is a case where we've had many people in this office spend a great deal of time reviewing the case. I have to tell you unequivocally that we don't have a universal agreement. There are people in the office that strongly believe that the Menendez brothers should stay in prison the rest of their life, and they do not believe that they were molested. And there are people in the office that strongly believe that they should be released immediately, and that they were in fact molested. I have to tell you that after a very careful review of all the arguments that were made for people on both sides of this equation, I came to a place where I believe that under the law, resentencing is appropriate, and I am going to recommend that to a court tomorrow. What that means in this particular case is that we're going to recommend to the court that the life without the possibility of parole be removed and that they will be sentenced for murder, which, because there are 2 murders involved, that will be 50 years to life. However, because of their age, under the law, since they were under 26 years of age at the time that these crimes occurred, they will be eligible for parole immediately. The teams that have worked on this, on the resentencing side of it, have spent literally probably hundreds of hours by now looking at this case. These cases were originally presented on the habeas side of it, which I'll explain in a moment what that is, last year, and then the request for a prosecutor-initiated resentencing occurred earlier this year. And there have been people in this office working in these cases from the very beginning, as well as many other cases that we have. The reason why I'm here today and why I came in front of all of you about 10 days ago is because there was a more recent documentary about the case that again brought a tremendous amount of public attention. And we know there have been other documentaries, so this is not the first, this is the more recent one. And frankly, our office got flooded with requests for information. And even though this case was already scheduled to be heard in late November, I decided to move this forward because, quite frankly, we did not have enough resources to handle all the requests. And one of the things that I thrive to do in this office is to be very transparent in everything that we do. In this case, we review the prison files. And you have to understand that the way the process works, when you're talking about a sentence, a resentencing under the law, it really focuses not necessarily on what the original crimes were, but it focuses on, has the person been rehabilitated, number one, and number two, can they be released safely into the community? Under that rubric, since I've been in office, we have resentenced over 300 people, including 28 for murder. Only 4 have reoffended. If that was a regular recidivism rate in this country, we would be the safest nation in the world, but we know that it's not. In fact, somewhere between 40 and 50% of the people that go to prison reoffend and get rearrested. And that's why we have so many problems. However, when you look at the case of the Menendez brothers, you see 2 very young people, one was 19 and the other was 21, when they committed these horrible acts. And I want to underline, they were horrible acts. There is no excuse for murder, and I will never imply that what we're doing here is to excuse that behavior, because even if you get abused, the right path is to call the police, seek help. But I understand also how sometimes people get desperate. We often see women, for instance, that have been battered for years, and sometimes they will murder their abuser out of desperation. And I do believe that the brothers were subjected to a tremendous amount of dysfunction in the home and molestation. But they went to prison for life without the possibility of parole, which meant that certainly under the law at that time, they had no hopes of ever getting out. They could have done what many other people do, which is basically said, you know what, I'm here for the rest of my life. so I'm going to do whatever. I'm going to misbehave, I'm going to join gangs, I'm going to live the life of the prison. But they never did that. To the contrary, even though they didn't think that they would ever be left free, they engaged in a different journey. A journey of redemption and a journey of rehabilitation. And often the people that begin their journey of rehabilitation and redemption in prison is often very internal. And what they do, and one of our lawyers pointed out this today, is usually the path is people try to further their education, do things for self-improvement, which the brothers have done, by the way. But it's more unique or less usual, I guess, when people not only do that, but they also begin to engage in ways to make life for others better. And in this case, the brothers have been doing so for a very long time. Creating groups to deal with how to address untreated trauma. Creating groups to deal with other inmates that have physical disabilities and may be treated differently. Even in one case, Lyle negotiating for other inmates as to the conditions that they live under during prison. And all this was done by two young people, now they're not as young, they had no hopes of ever getting out of prison. They have been in prison for nearly 35 years. I believe that they have paid their debt to society, and the system provides a vehicle for their case to be reviewed by a parole board, and if the parole concurs with my assessment, and it will be their decision, they will be released accordingly. I must underline, however, this case will be filed in court tomorrow. The final decision will be made by the judge. Court has to agree with my conclusion that they deserve to be resentenced. It is very possible that there may be members of this office that will be present in court opposing the resentencing. And they have a right to do so. And we encourage those that disagree with us to speak, and the court is the appropriate place to do it. We certainly feel we're very sure not only that the brothers have rehabilitated and that they will be safe to be reintegrated in our society, but that they have paid their dues, not only for the crimes that they committed, but because of all the other things they have done to improve the life of so many others. So, again, we will be filing for resentencing tomorrow. We're seeking that they would be sentenced to life with the possibility of parole, as opposed to life without the possibility of parole, which is they currently have. That means that they would have 50 years to life because there were two murders. But because of the age upon which they were convicted, under 26, under current law, that means they're eligible for youthful parole. I think there is also important to have some introspection today, because I think that often, for cultural reasons, we don't believe victims of sexual assault, whether they're women, whether they're men. We saw in our first trial, which, by the way, they were tried twice. The first trial hung, meaning the jury could not come to a conclusion, and in fact about half of the jury wanted to convict them of manslaughter, which, if that were have been the case, they would have been off prison a long time ago. And then there was a second trial, and then they were convicted of murder with special circumstances, which led to the life without the possibility of parole. But it's salient to understand that our own implicit and sometimes explicit bias around sexual abuse and sexual assault often leads us to severe injustices in our community. And I want to speak to those that are victims of sexual assault now, whether you're a man or a woman. Know that we're here for you. If you're a victim of sexual assault in this community, and by that we're talking about LA County, not just LA City, you can come for help. Whether you're prepared to prosecute or not, we will be here for you. We have services for you. And if you're prepared to move forward with the prosecution, we will evaluate it as we do any other case. And if we believe that the evidence is there to present a credible case in front of a jury that can be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, we will proceed accordingly. You do not have to suffer alone. You don't have to keep it to yourself. And help is here unconditionally. I'm going to say a few words in Spanish because I know there's tremendous amount of interest from the Spanish media, and I know that there are going to be other speakers today, and then we're going to open it up for questions. Primero que nada, quiero dar las gracias a todos por estar aquí hoy. Estamos hablando del caso de los hermanos Menéndez. Este fue un caso donde dos hermanos, uno de 19 y uno de 21 años, asesinaron a sus padres más de 3 décadas atrás. Estos muchachos fueron condenados por asesinato y llevan en la prisión alrededor de 35 años. Este fue un caso que tuvo mucha atención pública cuando sucedió y indudablemente tiene mucha atención pública hoy cuando vemos esta habitación como está llena. La razón por la que nosotros estamos buscando que la Corte reevalúe la sentencia original es la siguiente. Bajo la ley de California, cuando una persona es acusada de un crimen, ese crimen puede ser reevaluado si la persona lleva muchos años en la cárcel o la prisión y enseña que se ha rehabilitado y que puede ser reintegrado en la comunidad sin causar peligro para el resto de nosotros. En el caso de los hermanos Menéndez, nosotros hemos revisado el caso y creemos, número uno, que se han rehabilitado y número dos, que pueden ser reintegrados en la comunidad sin causar peligro para el resto de nosotros. Es importante notar que este es un caso de dos muchachos que tenían 19 y 21 años, que probablemente fueron no solamente acosados por su familia, pero posiblemente también fueron molestados sexualmente. Aunque no hay excusa ninguna para los crímenes que ellos cometieron, reconocemos también que habían ciertas condiciones que pueden haber creado esta situación. Desde que están en la prisión, ellos han demostrado con sus acciones y sus palabras que iban a hacer todo lo que era posible para rehabilitarse. No solamente ellos hicieron cosas para mejorar su vida personalmente, pero también tomaron parte en muchos programas y crearon programas para ayudar a otros prisioneros. Hicieron todo esto durante un tiempo donde ellos no creían que iban a salir de la cárcel por el resto de su vida, porque su sentencia era de vida sin la posibilidad de salir de la cárcel. Lo que estamos haciendo hoy bajo la ley de California, vamos a hacer una petición a la Corte a que reevalúe esa sentencia y que lo vuelva a sentenciar por asesinato, pero con la posibilidad de salir con libertad condicional. En el caso de ellos, porque son dos asesinatos, serían 50 años o por vida, pero con la posibilidad de ser prohibido la oportunidad de salir con condiciones. Bajo la ley, cuando el crimen se cometió y la persona tenía menos de 26 años cuando lo cometió, esa persona puede ser evaluada inmediatamente para que su sentencia sea revisada y que se le pueda dar otra sentencia. Bajo las condiciones de cómo ellos se han portado en la prisión y la evidencia de que están rehabilitados y de que pueden ser reintegrados en nuestra comunidad, es muy posible que ellos sean permitidos salir a la calle de nuevo, pero esa decisión estará con el sistema de prisiones y no con nuestra oficina. Legalmente lo que nosotros vamos a hacer mañana es presentar una petición a la Corte. La Corte es la que toma la última decisión y la Corte puede acordar con nosotros o no, pero creemos que bajo la ley la petición que estamos haciendo está bien fundada y creo que esta petición espero que sea permitida. Ahora voy a pasar para que otras personas hablen y después podemos tomar sus preguntas. Ana María, you're going to talk next? Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Ana Maria Baralt, and I'm the niece of Jose Menendez. Eric and Menendez are my cousins. I would also like to acknowledge the other family members here, some standing, some seated. Joan Vandermolen is here, Kitty's sister, as well as Diane Vandermolen Hernandez, Kitty's niece. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Today is a day filled with hope for our family. We are here because District Attorney Gascon has taken a brave and necessary step forward by recommending a resentencing for Lyle and Eric. The DA's decision reflects the truth that is hidden for so long, and I am grateful for his leadership in making this choice. We stand united in our hope and gratitude. Together we can make sure that Eric and Lyle receive the justice they deserve and finally come home. Thank you to District Attorney George Gascon for his courage and leadership. This step gives us all hope that the truth will finally be heard and that Lyle and Eric can begin to heal from the trauma of their past. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ana Maria.
Yeah.
Jose Menendez is going to say a few words.
This is the niece of Kitty Menendez, Joan Vandermolen.
All right, so that was that. I've got the niece of the mom coming on and all that other stuff. So interesting for sure that's where this is going. Again, it's so different from what we heard about way back then when all that stuff was live. A lot of questions for sure about that, and wow, I mean that's big news. These guys spent 34 years in jail and now making their way out. Likely, we'll wait and see what happens. But yeah, so I'm looking at the guy's last name, Gascon, and I thought it was Gasson, but maybe it's Gascon then. And maybe what was that movie? Was it Beauty and the Beast? No one tries like Gascon. No. Makes those French fries like Gascon. No one gets them to testify like Gascon. No, I know it's terrible. It's not funny. But the guy, just his name. Anyway, so that was the district attorney in there. Yeah, it's Gaston. You're right. I know, but it's right there. It's close enough. It's close enough for me to get in there and do all that one. It is. Now, I don't think that there's an easy transition to what I want to do here, but I've got a great video that I want to show to you guys. The only thing is that, again, Ricky Ricardo, oh my gosh. Oh, that is a deep cut. That is a deep cut for sure. Let me see if there's something else I can get in here for you. I got something sent to me, and this is from Marianas High School for the principals. Hold on one second. I'm just going to call this MHS and cue this up for you. Instead of doing it on the share, I want to do it with the actual video itself. There's the media source. I'm going to call it MHS1 and send this to you. And it's an appreciation message. There we go. Let's make sure that it's got the right side. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go to here, go to main. All right, so I'm going to send this your way here in just a moment. Let me go to MHS. Oh, I just want to make sure that it doesn't start until I transition it over. All right, so here's a little something that we got sent to you. Again, it's not a smooth segue from one to the other, but we got this sent to us, and we want to send it to you right now.
cause you are the champion. And I know, and I know, and I know, you're one in a million. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You say that I work too much. You say that I'm gone too much. But too much is never enough. When it's all for you, they wonder how we survive. They wonder how we alright. Never no sacrifice.
MHS appreciates you, Miss Mel. Thank you for all the hard work you do in keeping us safe and making sure that we're having fun.
Thank you for being the heart of MHS.
Thank you for all you do and being the mother to our dolphins.
Thank you for being an amazing mentor, colleague, and friend, and most especially the beating heart of our school. Loves you.
Happy Principals Appreciation Week, Miss Mel. I appreciate you for your leadership and your humor. And thank you for all that you've done for our school and our students and our staff. Happy Principals Appreciation Week.
Happy Appreciation, Miss Mel.
Happy Principals Appreciation Month. We appreciate you.
Happy Principals Appreciation Month. Thank you, Miss Mel. We love you.
Hi, Miss Mel. Happy Principals Appreciation Month. Thank you for everything that you do for us here at MHS, for all our students. We are so lucky to have you. Enjoy your month.
On behalf of Financial Literacy class, Happy Principals Appreciation Month, Miss Mel.
Happy Principal Appreciation Month, Miss Mel. No, wait.
Happy Principals Appreciation Month. Thank you, Miss
Happy
Mel.
Principals Appreciation Month. I love you and thank you for everything you have done for the school. Yeah. Bye.
Happy Principals Appreciation Month, Miss Mel.
Happy Principals Month. Thank you, Magas, for everything you've done for the school, and enjoy eating. Happy. Okay. Happy Principals Appreciation Month, Miss Mel.
We appreciate everything you do for us, looking after the gym, taking care of us in the gym, and our students. We love you.
Miss Mel, come by more often and say hello. We miss you when you're not here. Thank you for everything you do. You rock.
Thank you, Miss Mel. I appreciate everything you have done. I remember the first week I came in becoming a counselor. You were always there, and I really appreciate all the work and all the time you put in to help me get to where I am today. So I appreciate you so much.
Happy Principal Appreciation Month. Thank you, Miss Mel.
Hi, Miss Mel. Happy Principal Appreciation Month. I will take this chance to really, express my gratitude to you. Thank you for being, a very compassionate leader. Thank you for your care and understanding. You're making everyone here, like the students and the teachers, be seen, heard, and appreciated. We are now being valued, and thank you so much. I really, really love you, Miss Mel. You're, like what I keep saying, you are a principal with a heart, okay? You are not just a leader, and thank you for that. You're making me, keep moving forward. Thank you.
Happy Principal Appreciation Month!
They wonder how we survive. They wonder how we alright. Never no sacrifice, cause it's all for you. Yeah. Again, knock. The only one there when I'm wrong. Backing me up when I'm all out. Backing me up when I'm all out. You always holding it down. You always holding it down. I wouldn't trade you, not for the world. Ain't no way, cause you are the champion. And I know, you're one in a million. Ooh, yeah. You're the key to my kingdom. And I know, your love is unbeaten. You're my number one.
Sometimes I get a feeling away. I know it make you crazy, cause I have bad love history, and you're so patient with me. You came in all in down alright, messed around and changed my life. I'm in love, I can't deny it. Boom boom, your love knocked me out. Boom boom, don't know what we bout. Boom boom, boy you so wild. Boom boom clap, oh. Hold want you to be my number one. I want you to be my number one. I want you to be my number one. I want you to be my number one. You're my number one.
Again, I get knocked down. The only one there when I'm wrong. Waking me up when I'm all out. Knocking me up when I'm all out. You always holding it down. You always holding it down. I wouldn't trade you. No. Not for the world. No way. Ain't no way. Cause you are the champion.
And I know, and I know, and I know you're one in a million. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You're the key to my kingdom. And I know, and I know, and I know your love is unbeaten. You're my number one.
You are the champion.
You're one in a million.
You are the champion.
You're my number one.
You are the champion.
Your love is unbeaten.
You are the champion.
You're my number one.
All right, Marianas, you're looking out there. We turned the camera a little bit so you guys can see. Well, so you can see the sea. Looking out there, and you can see the waves kicking up a little bit, crashing on the old reef line out there. That's just past Oleai Bar and Grill, just past the shack, and that's what we're looking at right now. I saw a bit of it as the trees are whipping around and everything, just to give you guys a little bit of an idea what it looks like and what the conditions are out there. You can see them crashing out there. And that's going to just continue in that direction for the next few days. So be ready. If you're not already thinking about how to tie stuff down at the house, you should be thinking about that already. Oh, 1 second. Oh, I will get that info to you in just a second. All right, some great stuff out there. And now you know what's going on. You're getting ready for the weekend. You know that it's going to be windy. You know it's going to be rough. And you know what you need to do at the house or at your business to get ready for all this weather. I want to say thanks to Landon Eidlet from the National Weather Service for getting us all the info, the most accurate info that you can get from the National Weather Service. We're going to continue to post all the updates to you when they become available over the weekend, so don't worry. It's not just during the show when you get all that info. We're going to keep posting it on there as well. I want to say thanks to everybody for tuning in, as you always do, and we'll go live when we need to with regards to the weather, and we'll have interviews over the weekend when we need to with the weather with Landon and all that. Reminder, if you're interested in being a part of the Saipan Little League Baseball, that you can be a part of it, and you can be a part of the board of directors even if you get voted in tomorrow. Menachem Atau over at Beach Road, just down the street, tomorrow at 9 o'clock. What else do we got going on? A lot of weather. Autumn Festival's going on this weekend. We got soccer going on this weekend for the rec leagues. Now that the school leagues are done, the interscholastic high school league's going to start up here in a little bit. And holy smokes, I mean, it's just it's weather everywhere for us. Just going to check the messages real quick. Some other stuff that came up in the last few minutes, but I just want to tell you it's an absolute treat for me to be able to do this stuff for you guys. And, well, for me too. I mean, I love doing it. So I love doing it. But I'm glad I get to do it. I'm glad that you guys are watching. It gives me an opportunity to do this. If you guys weren't watching, we wouldn't have any sponsors. If we wouldn't have any sponsors, you know, we'd have an unhappy Kathy saying, Brad, you need a real job. Hey, who wants that? Nobody. This is not a real job. I get to do this stuff with you guys all the time. This is the way I want to do this stuff. All right. That's what we got for you now. We'll get you the latest from the 902 talks when we get that release coming out from Frankie Olipko in the governor's office. And if you've got anything else you want to send our way, just let us know. We'll get it out there for you. Have a great weekend, Marianas. Get your house all ready for this storm, and we'll be here all weekend talking about the weather with you too. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting us, and we'll see you guys next week.
Good morning, Marianas. So many things we gotta discuss. Happy day, Tirawamian greetings to Rhoda, Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news from a beautiful place with Pacific views. It's always so much fun on Good Morning, Marianas.
To keep our family strong, they struggled throughout the years to teach us right from wrong. Father works to make ends meet, to keep the roof above our heads. Mother sorts the bills to pay, cooks our meals and makes our bed. This song is for you, Mom and Dad, from all your kids. We wanna tell you we love you. Thank you for the things you did. It's hard for us to show how much we really care. We want you both to know that our love was always there. This song is for you, Mom and Dad. Nanan tata masapit vidurantin linala mami afanog biham ni maulik zai rispetu mas kumbeni si tata matsoto si nona hamu matendi megay na manelo todo haman maasisti konta nanan tota para hamju malago ham nang tingo ingwai za hamju sincero na I ham todo ina sinan miju si dos ma osi Nagadesi todi bidan miju Konta nanan tota para hamju. The struggles and pain we put you through broke your hearts and made you tear. We caused some stress and sleepless nights throughout our younger years. Mom and Dad, we ask you both to hear what we have to say. Andrew, Dan, Doreen, and Jen, Charmaine, Chris, and Renee, Dinga, John, and Dinga, Gay, Charlie, the youngest one. We love you both with all our hearts, though we might not say it loud. We want you to be happy, and we wanna make you proud. This song is for you, Mom and Dad, from all your kids. We wanna tell you we love you. Thank you for the things you did. It's hard for us to show how much we really care. We want you both to know that our love was always there. We kept it in so long, and now we tell you in the form of a song. This song is for you, Mom and Dad. This song is for you, Mom and Dad. This song is for you,
News, I'm Ben Thomas. McDonald's says it's found a possible source of the E. coli outbreak linked to Quarter Pounders. Ed Donahue has details.
McDonald's says the source of the outbreak was fresh onions from Taylor Farms. They were sent to a distribution facility. It has led to the removal of Quarter Pounders from McDonald's menus in the affected states. U.S. Foods, a major wholesaler to restaurants, says Taylor Farms had issued a recall this week for peeled whole and diced yellow onions from a facility in Colorado for potential E. coli contamination. The outbreak got at least 49 people sick in 10 states. One person died. Other fast food restaurants, including Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, KFC, and Burger King, have pulled onions from some menus. I'm Ed Donahue.
In the presidential campaign, Donald Trump telling supporters in Arizona,
the 4-year-long nightmare that Kamala Harris has forced your men to endure, your men, your women, your children, it's a nightmare for the whole planet. You want to know the truth, because we represent so much. We represent the American dream. The whole world is watching us, and they see these people that don't deserve to be in any position of authority.
Vice President Kamala Harris enlisting some high-profile surrogates, appearing with Bruce Springsteen and former President Barack Obama in Georgia tonight. And Margie Zarletta reports.
3 people familiar with the matter who are not authorized to speak publicly tell the Associated Press Beyonce will be at Kamala Harris's rally Friday in Houston, which is Beyonce's hometown. The Harris campaign did not comment. Beyonce had given Harris permission early in her campaign to use the song Freedom, which has been Harris's walkout music. Beyonce had given tickets to her Washington concert last year to Harris and her husband Doug Emhoff. I'm Archie Zaraletta.
An Ohio judge has permanently blocked enforcement of the state's abortion ban, citing a voter-approved reproductive rights amendment. This is AP News.
I'm heading to do something that should have been done a long time ago.
President Biden making his first visit to a tribal nation tomorrow.
Make a formal apology to the Indian nations for the way we treated their children for so many years.
Jackie Quinn has more.
Heading to the Gila River Indian community in Arizona, President Biden will be offering a formal apology for the nation's 150-year campaign to assimilate indigenous children, taking them away from their families and putting them into boarding schools. An Interior Department investigation found some 18,000 children were forced to attend these schools. Nearly 1,000 of them ended up dying, devastating their families. Interior Secretary Deb Haaland, whose grandparents were forced to go to a boarding school, says this is a big deal to all of Indian country. I'm Jackie Quinn.
And I'm Ben Thomas, AP News. Thanks for listening.
AP Sports, I'm Tom Merriam. Opening night for 20 NBA teams over 10 games, including the first regular season game ever at the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles. The Clippers debut their spectacular new arena before a sellout crowd, and AP reporter Mark Myers.
The Phoenix Suns got their season off to a winning start by beating the LA Clippers in overtime 116-113. Mike Budenholzer picked up his first victory as the Suns' new head coach.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for the team. I'm happy for the players, for the guys. Go on the road. Winning on the road in the NBA is hard, and I'm just appreciative of their effort.
Kevin Durant scored 25 points in the win, and Bradley Beal had 7 of his 24 in the OT. It was the season opener for both teams and the first regular season game played at the Clippers' new home arena, the Intuit Dome. James Harden finished with 29 points, but with a chance to send the game to a second overtime, he missed the second of 2 free throws with 4.8 seconds remaining.
Also out west, the Warriors routed the Trailblazers in Portland 139-104 as Steph Curry had 17 points, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds in just 25 minutes. 2 of the leading contenders in the East opened their season against one another in Philadelphia. AP's Mike Luongo took in the action.
Damian Lillard led the way for the Bucks, who opened their NBA season with a 124-109 win over the 76ers. Lillard scored 11 points in the second quarter, 8 of those coming during a 15-4 run that put Milwaukee ahead to stay. Lillard was 4 of 4 from behind the three-point stripe in the third quarter. He finished with a game-high 30.
I really prepared for this season, and when the games come around, I got to go out there and do what I prepared myself to do, and that's all I did.
Tyrese Maxey had 25 for the Sixers.
The Pacers outscored the Pistons by 14 points in the fourth quarter to avoid an opening night surprise and come away with a 115-109 victory for Rick Carlisle.
Typical opening night game, very difficult. Down 9 at halftime. I think we were, down 9 or 10, or maybe it was 8 going into the fourth, and they had momentum. And then we were able to throw a 19-point defensive quarter at them.
The Hornets similarly pulled off a fourth quarter comeback to stop the Rockets 110-105. The Hawks also had a rally in the second half to pull out a 120-116 victory over the Nets, 30 points for Trae Young.
It wasn't easy on either end, so it was a good first game for us. That was our first fourth quarter we've played all summer. We didn't play any fourth quarter, so it was good the way we executed down the stretch.
The Cavaliers, meanwhile, jumped out to a 20-point halftime lead over the Raptors and breezed to a 136-106 victory, 23 points for Evan Mobley. The NBA's two Florida teams clashed in their season openers. Here's Denny Cap with a recap.
Paulo Banchero drains a game-high 33 points to lead the Magic past the Heat 116-97. Banchero scored 12 of those 33 in the third quarter where the Magic blew it open, outscoring the Heat 39-18 to turn a 4-point halftime lead into a 25-point cushion going into the fourth. Head coach Jamal Mosley.
He's going to find a way to win, whether he has to score 33 and grab 11 rebounds, or he scores 12, dishes out 12 assists. But he's going to find a way to help this team win, and that's what great players do.
Gary Harris sparked Orlando off the bench, knocking down 6 dribbles en route to an 18-point night. Jimmy Butler posted his lowest scoring output since 2021, netting just 3 points on 1 of 8 shooting for the Heat.
The Grizzlies edged the Jazz 126-124 in Salt Lake City for Coach Taylor Jenkins.
It never hurts to get a win to set the tone, but and especially to do it on the road against, I think, a really good team, really tough environment to play in. So now we just got to keep this road trip going.
The Pelicans, behind 33 Brandon Ingram points, beat the Bulls 123-111. Hockey, football, and baseball on deck. After all 32 teams played Tuesday, only one NHL game Wednesday, an Atlantic Division matchup between longtime rivals the Flyers and Capitals, who played for the second straight night, this time in the nation's capital where AP's Dave Ferry was on hand.
Connor McMichael delivered back-to-back goals to give the Capitals a 4-0 lead in a 6-3 downing of the Flyers. McMichael scored twice in a 3:12 span of the second period, making it a 4-0 game before Philadelphia chipped away. Pierre-Luc Dubois added an empty netter after setting up 2 scores in the Caps' 5th straight win.
There's just some nights like that. There's some nights that you feel like you could have more and you get 0, and there's some nights that it's just going in. But, everybody played well. Mikey was feeling good tonight. We're trying to get that third one for him, but, he did a lot of good things out there.
Alex Ovechkin also scored into an empty net, putting him 40 goals away from becoming the league's all-time leader. The Flyers lost their 4th in a row despite goals from Travis Konechny, Owen Tippett, and Matvei Michkov.
NFL, as the teams get ready for Week 8, which begins Thursday night with the Vikings-Rams game, the league's best and worst teams were involved in significant changes. Here's Gethin Kulba with the news.
The 2-time defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs are acquiring 3-time All-Pro wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins from the Titans, according to an AP source. The Chiefs are sending a conditional 5th-round pick to the Titans, according to NFL Network. Elsewhere, the Panthers will start second-year quarterback Bryce Young Sunday against the Broncos after Andy Dalton suffered a sprained thumb on his throwing hand in a car crash in Charlotte. Commanders rookie QB Jaden Daniels missed practice Wednesday due to his rib injury. Dolphins QB Tua Tagovailoa practiced for the first time since suffering a concussion in Week 2.
College football, North Carolina State quarterback Grayson McCall has announced his retirement from football less than 3 weeks after a vicious hit knocked him out of a game for the second time this season. McCall was a 6-year player who was a graduate transfer following 5 seasons at Coastal Carolina. Baseball, the Dodgers and Yankees will both work out at Dodger Stadium Thursday, with Game 1 of the World Series set for Friday night. Many eyes are likely to be watching the series on TV, following the most-watched league championship series in 7 years. According to Nielsen, the 2 LCS averaged 5.35 million viewers on Fox, FS1, and TBS, the highest number since 2017. Tom Merriam, AP Sports.